Hey, yo, Tim, I promised you that recipe to the devil beef chili a couple weeks ago. Best chili of my life. As I said in the text, I believe the apotheosis of my chili. I don't know if I can ever go higher. It'll all just be variations on a theme at this point. So, I had this block of frozen like beef chuck, like beef shoulder, right? On a hunk of bone in my freezer for a while because I had made I think carnitas maybe or something with it, or a stew a couple months ago. And I was like, yeah, I'll save this for stock. And then I decided a couple weekends ago, all right, it's stock day, time to make some beef stock. And then I wanted chili as well. And so, well, after letting this unsalted frozen, actually might have been a little bit salted, I forget, this frozen piece of beef in a Dutch oven just boil for 3-4 hours, something like that. It's gonna leave behind a lot of water and a lot of fat. Then you extract the beef the best that you can from the water. It'll be pretty easy to cleave it from the bone that's there. So once you've cleaved that meat off this bone, you then discard the beef to a different bowl, or just for a little bit to cool down, and then you do it over the bone. Doesn't matter. So then you fry up your onions, garlic, all that. Any fresh peppers that you want to do at that point as well. Same time as that's happening, you want to dry roast some dried chilies. I like to do dried ancho, guajillo are pretty nice. Any of the really like California or Arizona ones, those are gonna be really nice. I don't know if I'd want to go much hotter than that because otherwise, it might be a little rough because we're putting in a lot of peppers into this. So you dry roast those peppers. You can, if you want to like scorch some fresh peppers too, throw those in there too. I've thrown like poblanos in there. When I was feeling really cheeky, I once threw in a serrano pepper. It was pretty wild. So peppers, right? Dry roasting them. You then will bring that to a really high-powered blender, like the Vitamix that Miri and I got, and you just blast this in the dust, just fucking dust, blast it. And then you add like cornmeal and some cocoa mix, some other chili powder. Just let it go, and then you slowly add your I think it's the beef stock, to it with some oil to make a stock paste. And so then when all the moisture has gone out of the veggies that you're frying over there, you drop the stock paste in as well. Get it nice and dried up. To make my stock paste actually ready to run, I added a few tomatoes. Like I took the juice from a can of tomatoes, put that in there, let that blend up, then decided to add the rest of the tomatoes and some nutritional yeast, just a little bit, actually more like a couple tablespoons if you want, to it, blended it up. Oh god, it's been too many weeks, I've forgotten my whole process. But so I then returned the spice paste to the chili bowl in the Dutch oven and fried that down pretty hard too before adding a few cans of beans, some more tomatoes to the pot. I added a little bit of white wine as well and some chicken paste stock. And just, then I returned the beef. Okay, I forgot two big steps actually. So you're gonna have to insert this back near the beginning, but before you start frying the vegetables, you're gonna want to like fry up like a pound of beef chuck as well, like really nice 80/20 beef chuck that's like pretty like large ground. Fry that up. It'll like take on all of the brown beef of the beef shoulder that's been fried down too. You add a bunch of tomato paste here as well, but what's really cool is that all the fond of the fried barbacoa, the shredded beef, that becomes like a layer of fond that like covers the entire bottom of the pot, and then the beef chuck like takes up that layer of fond and becomes like a crispy, crackly brown coating. It's wicked. And then you just get like this really brown, deeply like Maillard reaction bit of beef with all this beef fat too. So it's got really a really heavy beef flavor. And then so insert that back to when we're adding all the stock, because we added some chicken stock and I think a heavy dose of vegetable stock, because we have all these pastes, so we can really play with these balances. And filled up to the top of this thing. Like the pot was dangerously full. It was great. The one downside is I wanted to add like a Mexican beer to it, but Miri doesn't like the taste of Mexican beer or any beer really in our stews, and I get it. It's kind of a particular taste, but like incredible chili. That stock paste that I told you about earlier is why it has such a violently orange color in that picture I sent you. Yeah, no, so really good chili. I shredded some like sharp white cheddar on top of it. It's brilliant. Would highly recommend. The basis for this was the original Binging with Babish chili recipe from Kevin from The Office's Chili. And, well, here we are. Cool.